What's going on, everyone? My name is Talon Sai and you are watching Sunday GUNDAY. I hope you're all having a great Sunday so far. Today is going to end this little sprint of IWI focused videos. And before we get into the video today, I would like to extend a big thank you to everyone out at IWI. As you guys know, this channel has started about 3 months ago and we've seen some great growth since the start of it. We've taken a look at a lot of different guns over the past 3 months and a lot of them have been from IWI. I really needed a way to kickstart this channel and start pumping out a lot of new videos, so because of them I was able to review pretty much everything in their line. Everything from the Galil Ace to the Tavor X95 to the Masada and the Uzi Pro. We had the TS12 last week and now we're moving into the final IWI product for now. Of course, I'm always looking for cool, new, innovative products to showcase here on the channel, so having a big spread of a bunch of different guns has helped out a lot, so again, thank you very much for all the support. Now I've got the final IWI product that I'm testing for now, and did I save the best for last? I don't really know. It sort of reminds me of some other things that I've also reviewed here on the channel. So without further ado, we're gonna jump right into the Jericho 941. The Jericho 941 F9 is a full-size steel frame pistol chambered in 9mm. Right off the bat, you can tell that this gun was based on the very popular CZ75's short recoil system when it came to life back in 1990. There have been quite a few variants over the years sold by different companies actually, like Magnum Research and Mossberg, but now IWI is carrying the torch with this version that you see right here. On top you will find metal 3-dot sights riding on the very slim and minimal slide, which comes with some shallow rear serrations. Inside is a 4.4-inch cold hammer forged barrel, and if this shoots anything like the CZ, then I'm expecting it to be fairly accurate today. This version comes with a single-sided safety, giving you the ability to carry the pistol cocked and locked, and there's also a Picatinny rail up front for whatever accessories you might want to add. There is a curved trigger shoe, both double and single action, and the grips on the metal frame are polymer, although being a full-size steel frame gun, that doesn't really do much for the weight. And then finally, the Jericho comes with two 16-round metal mags, giving you the total capacity of 17 rounds when chambered. So already this thing is obviously giving me the vibe of a CZ75. That's a gun that I've shot in a video on the main channel. I never really gave it the full Sunday GUNDAY treatment, but if you dig around over on the main channel, you may be able to find some of my thoughts on that gun. This one, of course, is getting the full Sunday GUNDAY treatment today, so let's see how it shoots. There's not much of a slide to grab onto there, but it feels pretty smooth. Alright guys, back for my first mag impression with the Jericho 941. I'm going to start with my very initial first impressions when I pulled this thing out of the box. When I first picked this thing up, it really set in how much this actually weighs. Of course, it is a full-size steel gun, and there isn't a whole lot of weight savings here. They advertise that it comes in at 2.3 ounces on their site. However, I actually weighed this with an empty mag inserted in it last night, and it came out to 2 pounds 9 ounces. Now with all of that weight behind a gun with a very minimal slide and only shooting a 9mm cartridge, the recoil impulse on this is very soft right from the start. If I'm shooting quickly with a lighter polymer style pistol, typically I would like a red dot on top because it allows me to get back on target a lot faster. This, however, is very, very smooth right from the get-go. You don't have a whole lot of mass on top reciprocating, so as soon as I let off that first shot, the 3 white dot sights fell right back on target. Now when you're comparing this to a lot of other guns similar to it, like the CZs and some other CZ style clones, one of the first things that comes to mind for me are competition style guns. I've actually seen these in an open configuration, and I'm sure people actually run this gun stock in a lot of different competitions. And just based off of that first mag, it is an early impression, but I think I can see why someone would want to run something like this. As far as the ergonomics go, it is a fairly large grip. You have a little bit of texturing on the front and rear, which is a part of the metal frame. Then you have these polymer side pieces. There is actually a little bit of aftermarket support for these, and I believe you could swap those out, and I think Hogue actually makes a grip that you could put on here if you see fit. The grip seems okay to me. I can still get up there pretty high with this beaver tail on here. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first pulled this thing out of the box, a mixture of the weight and how this thing just feels in my hand, it wasn't the most natural thing in the world. But now that I've spent a little bit of time with this gun, literally it just sitting beside my computer as I'm working on some other videos, I've started to warm up to the grip a little bit. There is a little bit of a swell on the back here, and it just took a little bit of time to get used to. So now when I point this thing out, the sights fall pretty naturally for me, and I think I'm going to be able to shoot this thing pretty well. It already seemed fairly accurate with that first mag, so hopefully it continues to be accurate through the rest of the testing today. The serrations on this slide, although they are shallow, they are still pretty effective. I was able to rack this thing without much of an issue. And then the rest of the slide is pretty much blank, running all the way up to the front of the barrel here, so you're not really going to be able to get a grip on there to press check it if that is something that you're into. You'll simply have to come over the top and just check that way. The rest of the gun is fairly standard. Like I mentioned, double and single action, so we'll have to check out that double action there. I can get my thumb on the hammer if I want to. There is no decocker on this model, so like you see there, I'll have to put my thumb on there to drop that hammer slowly. There are some other variants where you will find a decocker as opposed to a safety on here, so it really comes down to what you prefer in a double single action gun like this. So this one is a right-handed thumb safety. I can get up there and actuate it fairly easily. I think if my hands were a little bit smaller though, that I might run into some issues with that. Mag button is in a good spot. Magazines come out of there fairly easily. I believe CZ75 mags would also work in here, however I don't have any with me today to test that. That could be sort of a double-edged sword. It's good because you have more options for magazines, but at the same time you may run into reliability issues if you're not using these mags from IWI. That would take a lot more testing to come to a definitive answer on something like that. And then you have the slide release lever, which I can just barely get to with my thumb up there. I'll see if I can actually close this slide once I insert a new mag. And then you have the curved trigger shoe, metal trigger guard, a rail up front, and overall it seems to be like a nice package so far. Now I'll start loading up these mags again and we'll head out here to shoot this thing a little bit more. Alright, let's see if I can close this slide just with my thumb. Yeah, that was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. This thing is feeling pretty accurate in my hand so far, so let's see what we can do with the dueling tree over here. Damn it, we were doing so well. You know what, let's keep it going. Redemption. So up close, we're fairly accurate. How about back here from 50 yards? Typically I would start closer, but I think I have faith in this gun. Yep, as long as I take my time. How about 75 yards? Three for three out here. I guess we'll move back just a little bit more. Now this is one that the gun is probably capable of, however, I may not be, especially when we're out here at like 100 yards. I'll be happy if I can get at least one though. Oh, I'm counting that. That's one, and I'm done. Now I do want to see what this thing is like in double action, so there is a round chambered. I'll let the hammer down slowly, see how this feels. Okay. Not too bad. How about a good old mag dump? I think that deserves a bonus mag. All right, one more shot. All right, everyone, back for some of my final thoughts on the Jericho 941 F9. I have to admit, I didn't really have high expectations for this gun. I guess it's just because it's been a while since I've shot a full-size steel frame gun like this. But again, I'm pleasantly surprised that I really did enjoy shooting this thing. And when I really think about it, what's not to like about a gun like this, especially when you're out here shooting for fun on the range? It shoots fast, the recoil impulse is very manageable, and one thing that actually makes this gun pretty exceptional is the trigger. Now here's a close-up look at the trigger within the trigger guard. You will notice that when the hammer is down and it is in double action mode, you have to reach pretty far up there to get your finger on that trigger. If I have a proper master grip on this gun, I really have to stretch my finger out there. Again, if you are a shooter with smaller hands, you may find that a little bit irritating. It might be a little bit much of a reach for you, as well as some of the other controls, but for the most part, if you can get your finger around there, I think you are going to enjoy this thing. So here's a look at the double action. I didn't shoot it like this very much, however, it felt pretty damn smooth. For a brand new gun, I would say that feels like an 8.5 to 9.5 pound take up. All the way back until we're getting close to the back of the trigger guard there. You'll find a wall right about there. And then you get a very nice, crisp and clean break. And now for the single action, you'll notice that when the hammer is back, it is much further back in the trigger guard there, so you can easily get your finger on there. You'll feel a little bit of a take up until you feel any resistance, and then there's a little bit of creep after that. Again, very nice and crisp break. This is obviously much lighter. Don't have a trigger gauge on me, but I would say it feels like about a 3.5, 4.5 pound trigger. Again, a little bit of take up. You feel resistance there. Tiny bit of creep. Right on that wall. Very nice trigger. Now when you factor everything into the Jericho 941 and then you talk about the price tag, that's where this gun makes a lot more sense, at least to me. The MSRP on this gun is around $650 coming from IWI. However, I did search on the internet just a little bit to see what a more realistic price would be, and you will find these around the $550 mark, which is not bad for a full-size steel frame gun. Great shooter. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who really didn't enjoy shooting this gun. Sure, you could not like double single action, and you might not like the weight because it is a fairly large, heavy gun, but it's kind of hard to deny that this thing is a great shooter. So I think that's all that I have on the Jericho 941 for now. If you guys have any questions on it, let me know in the comments down below. If you own one of these, whether it's the Magnum Research Baby Eagle or the Uzi Eagle from Mossberg, any type of variant of this, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments down below because I'm curious to see what you guys think about it. Now I have to give a huge thank you to everyone on Patreon who supports this channel. As of right now, this is completely funded by you guys watching out there, and as soon as there are no more patrons, then unfortunately I wouldn't be able to make these videos. So huge thank you to them. If you're not even on Patreon, just give the video a thumbs up to say thank you to those guys, because without them, again, these videos would not be coming out. I really can't thank you guys enough. If you're new to the channel, consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every single Sunday. That's all that I have for now. So as always, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one.